episode. Today, I will share with you a story that I wrote in December 2016. It's called The Miracle That Was Heaven Sent. I hope you enjoy it. It was Christmas Eve. The snow was falling softly in the streets and alleys of New York City. It was cold outside, all right, maybe around 30 degrees. The lights of the city were twinkling green, red, silver, and gold. It was not good weather to be out in, but Jack Wright, he didn't have a choice tonight. All the beds at the rescue missions were full, and he didn't have a relative to speak of within the city. Jack was homeless and needed a miracle tonight. He didn't choose to be homeless, but circumstances beyond his control stripped him of what little he was making in his tiny apartment. The government said he'd get some money soon, but because of bureaucratic red tape, it was delayed. For at least tonight, Jack succumbed to the elements, pulling his only warm jacket around himself and making sure his wool cap was on snugly. I must find a place to stay tonight, even if it's a cardboard box, Jack thought to himself. As Jack wandered and searched the streets for a nook or cranny to crawl into, he began hearing beautiful music in the distance. It sounded like a band. Jack heard voices too, perhaps a choir. He couldn't understand what was being sung. He just knew it was melodic. Jack was drawn to the music. Jack came closer to where the harmonious music originated. He could now hear the music much better, and the words being sung. Joy to the world, the Lord is come, echoed in Jack's ears. He was in a neighborhood that he did not recognize. It was an older part of the city. The building where the sacred composition drifted from was a large, yellow, clapboard house. In the window was a sign that read, "Please come in." Jack so much wanted to walk in, but wondered if he should. Jack decided to go inside to get away from the snow and cold. He placed his gloved fingers around the knob and quietly opened the door. He peeked in and saw a room full of people, each holding or sharing a hymn book. In front of the room, he saw the side view of a middle-aged woman playing the piano. Standing next to the piano was a young man strumming a guitar. And standing next to him was a woman playing the violin. They were the band, he heard. Since the door at the back of the house, he thought no one would notice him slipping in. Jack spotted an open seat at the back of the room and quietly made his way to the chair. The room was warm and cozy. He sat down, grateful to find a place to rest and hoping to get something to eat. As he started to settle into his chair, a kind-looking elderly man nudged Jack's elbow, offering to share his hymn book with him. Jack smiled shyly and nodded in thanks. They sang together in their baritone voices. And heaven, nature sing. After the singing, there was a brief message from someone at the front of the room. Jack surmised he was a pastor by the words the young, tall, and slender man spoke. At the end of the message, the pastor said a prayer. Then he invited everyone to stay for a hot meal. Jack was thankful for that. Jack and the others went to the next room where dining tables were set up, 8 chairs per table. Along the wall was a table set full of different kinds of hot food. He stood in line with the others, waiting to be served a full plate of food. The meal consisted of ham, mashed potatoes with gravy, string beans, yams, green salad, and a large dinner roll, all of Jack's favorites. The smell of the food reminded Jack of holiday dinners gone by. The person who handed him his large plate of delicious-looking food said, "Merry Christmas and God bless you." Jack said, "Thanks," and gratefully took the plate and sat at one of the dining tables. Jack ate and chatted with others who joined his table. Jack took a bite of ham. It was the most delicious food he had ever tasted. He lingered over the rest of the morsels, savoring each bite as if to remember how each one tasted. As he finished, someone handed him a slice of pumpkin pie. It was a perfect meal. At the end of the meal, a man stood up in front of the room and invited anyone who didn't have a place to stay for the night to take shelter in the house for the evening. "We have sleeping bags, pillows, and blankets for you to use," he announced. Jack couldn't believe what he just heard. A place to stay the night, he thought. He was so grateful. This was his miracle, a big one for him. God was watching over him tonight. He raised his hand to indicate that he wanted to stay over. Someone gave Jack a bedroll along with a pillow and directed Jack to a room upstairs. Jack found a cozy corner of the room to place his bedding. "Nothing fancy, but at least it's warm," he mused. As Jack settled into his corner of the world, he quietly gave a prayer of thanks to God for his provision. As Jack drifted off to sleep, the words from Luke 2, verse 14 permeated his spirit. "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men." Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Merry Christmas.